sure the whale and the people out here don't get hurt.
And a very clever transition right now from whales to seals.
There you go.
I like clever.
That is fantastic, Tony. I should just leave. That's all we need. Yes, the Victoria Seals in action tonight in Edmonton, fighting for their playoff lives for the most part. I can tell you the Seals won 4-3, but Calgary won as well tonight, so there's still 3.5 games back. We'll have more details on the Seals coming up in a bit. Plus, a look at the Nanaimo Field lacrosse player who is playing with SFU with the Clan. It's Canada's national summer sport. It's one of the fastest growing games in North America, but while indoor box has dominated the local lacrosse community, field lacrosse is much more widely played on the international stage. We'll introduce you to Nanaimo's Russell Thomas coming up. Plus, Tony, I know how you like to wear the bling. I certainly do. And could you imagine losing a $50,000 earring? I know you're not a big earring wearer.
No.
But that happened to an NFL player earlier today. More on the $50,000 missing earring, and the rest of sports coming up at 10:45.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks. Millions prepare for the worst as Hurricane Earl moves closer to shore. That story and more still to come. CHEK News returns in a moment.
I'm Ed May, and your full island forecast is coming up. But first, here's a look at some holiday hotspots.
Resort temperatures are brought to you by Vigo Tires on Quadra, voted Victoria's #1 tire store.
Come ride the Super Shot at the Saanich Fair. Drop by from 100 feet in the air. It's Canada's oldest continual agricultural fair. Gates open at 8 a.m. The 143rd Saanich Fair, all Labor Day weekend. Drive!
Okay, team. Time to tackle these greasy dishes. We're facing some tough opposition today. I'm going to need my biggest player. A change in the lineup? That little squirt?
One drop of Dawn Plus Power Scrubbers has the grease cleaning power of 2 drops of a leading non-concentrated brand, giving you a powerful clean.
Way to go, team. You really knocked the grease out of me.
Dawn does more.
So it's not a chore.
Now, here's another magical medical moment with the Wisecracks.
You know, new research conducted in mice suggests that the loss of smell may be the first sign that a person is starting to develop Alzheimer's disease. And that's because scientists have discovered that the amyloid plaques, which are responsible for the cognitive decline of dementia, first start to deposit in the part of the mouse brain that is responsible for the sense of smell.
This is a revealing study because it means that we now have an inexpensive alternative to brain scans in order to determine if early Alzheimer's is setting in, and that's a smell-related test. So if you stood beside Dr. Seeley and you didn't smell anything, I would be concerned. But if you stood beside him and you smelled a combination of high karate, mesclarol, garlic, and other things we won't mention, then you're in good shape.
Now there you have another magical medical moment from the Wisecracks.
Brought to you by MediChair. Improve the quality of your life. Quadrant, Caledonia, and in the Sydney Centre.
Greek Fest is a time for food, fun, and joyful shots of Opa, showcasing the Greek culture in BC. Nothing over 20 different performance groups and an abundance of delicious Greek food. The 9th annual Victoria Greek Fest, September 1st through the Labor Day long weekend, next to Commonwealth Pool.
I'm Daryl.
And I'm Christine.
We support local TV, and you're watching CHEK TV.
Hurricane Earl is now churning toward the east coast of North America. The storm leaving millions from North Carolina to Nova Scotia fearing they might end up in a hurricane's path. North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland have already been declared disaster areas, and things are expected to get much worse within the next 24 hours.
As the sun set along North Carolina's Outer Banks, there were already signs of the monster lurking offshore, waves growing more dangerous, and residents and vacationers growing more worried.
You're not going to fool around. No, it's not worth my life.
Still waiting for Hurricane Earl to make that critical turn to keep it offshore, knowing just a few degrees difference could bring a direct hit, and that either way, much of the East Coast could be in for a rough ride.
Pack up the car, pack up the kids, and unfortunately cutting our vacation short.
And so on North Carolina's Outer Banks, there are already some mandatory evacuations. And watches and warnings extend all the way to New England.
My phone's rang every 30 seconds to a call, and they ask me what to do. I can't say, because even they, who are experts in weatherology or meteorology, have no idea where the things are going to go.
On New York's Long Island, they spent the day hauling boats. The Northeast facing what could be a rare hurricane hit.
We're well overdue for a hurricane. The last hurricane was in '91.
Hundreds of miles of coastline and millions of people now waiting to see if Earl is the one.
In Europe, hot, dry weather and high winds continue to fuel wildfires in Portugal and Spain. The fires have been burning across Portugal since last weekend. Police say some of the fires were deliberately set. Firefighters are still battling a blaze in the country's north, while fires in other areas have been brought under control. One of the largest wildfires in Europe is burning in Spain. That fire is almost under control tonight after burning nearly 10 square kilometers of land. As for our weather, here's Ed.
Thanks very much, Tony. A beautiful day today. We certainly had that sunshine out. Temperature's just right, you know, at 19 or 20. We're going to be kind of around that area now for the next few days, courtesy of a nice little ridge of high pressure. So this one is here. It's just kind of bounced this, this frontal system up to the Charlottes and up into the northern coast. And we've got a rainfall warning in that area, about 50 millimeters of rain, courtesy of that system. But down below, looks like we're pretty much clear sailing. We're going to see a nice mix of sun and cloud. And again, those temperatures should be very close, if not even right on normal figures here for the next 3 or 4 days at least as we get into the long weekend. Here's the northern tip for tonight. Still some showers, of course. They're going to be on the edge of that system up there, so showers are possible tonight. Tomorrow should be dry, cloudy, and 17, and that's probably the way things will look up there for the next 4 or 5 days. A little on the cloudy side with showers and even some rain days coming in that we'll show you on our 7-day forecast for the north. Here's the west side, 8 degrees overnight, some fog here and there, some fog again to start the day tomorrow for Port Alberni and Tofino, but a 20 on the board here with mostly sunshine on the way for West Vancouver Island, so a decent looking day on that side, a decent looking day on this side here in the east, also about 20, 22 would be right for this time of the year, but a mostly sun-filled day on the east section here of the Comox Valley. Into Parksville, Nanaimo, and Ladysmith, same story, 1 or 2 clouds, mostly sunshine, up around that 20-degree mark here as well. And for the south, we should be probably very close to where we were today, 19, maybe 20, but a good clear day of sunshine for us tomorrow. So a nice-looking Thursday on the way for the South Island. More of that on the way, as we'll show you in our 7-day forecast. Well, there's the rain off that system in Rupert for tomorrow at 15 degrees. Light showers and occasional breaks of sunshine into Prince George at 18. But boy, the bottom half looks great here. There's Kamloops at 27, Kelowna mid-20s, 24 for Vancouver, 19 out in Cranbrook. So the high-pressure system really is getting the job done for the bottom section, if you will, of BC. On the national map we go. There's the rain up in Whitehorse at 10 degrees, about 40, maybe 50 millimeters on the way with that system there. 15 for Yellowknife in a mix. Edmonton and Calgary, both sunny at 19. Rain into Winnipeg there. They're very concerned about flooding because they've had such a wet spring. The ground is very saturated. They think about 70 millimeters is on the way from that system coming up from North Dakota. So they're very concerned about that. So a heavy rain day tomorrow at 15 degrees. Thunder showers into Thunder Bay. And another hot day for Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal and Halifax. 34 degrees for Halifax tomorrow. Again, that humidex was up around the 39-degree mark today for Toronto and Ottawa. 23 tomorrow for St. John's. A nice day for the Iqaluit there, 12 degrees in a mix. All right, there's the North Island. So you'll really feel the effects of that system just kind of hanging up there for several days. So it's dry tomorrow, but after that, it's all showers through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures around the 14-degree mark. Rain day for Labor Day, and then back into showers on Tuesday and Wednesday. So not a very good look there for the north. Not bad here, though. Central Island, nice and bright and 20. Mid-20s on Friday, low 20s Saturday, and around that 20-degree mark on Sunday, clouding up a bit for Labor Day. So really the bulk of the long weekend looks very good. And the South Island, we should see a similar run here as well. So 19 tomorrow, but 22 Friday, from more cloud cover coming in Friday and Saturday, back to a clear day on Sunday at 19. And there's our Labor Day and our CHEK anniversary party under the cloud now at a 17-degree reading for holiday Monday. We'll see what happens with that. So still a few days to get through before we get into that day. So maybe a change is coming up. We'll hope for that. In the meantime, the sunshine is back. Temperatures look very good for the next few days. Tony?
All right, Ed, thank you. No funding. Canadian MS patients are left out on tests of a controversial new treatment. That story is still to come on CHEK News. Stay with us.
I didn't realize I could get this kind of smile on Vancouver Island. It exceeded my expectations. I'm a tooth grinder, And so I think my purpose was as much aesthetic as it was practical. It's about being the best you can be. And I think the work that I had done here really enhanced my smile. Dr. Babin was able to correct my bite. I also see Dr. Babin for regular checkups and cleaning and all my dental care. I am really glad I trusted my smile to Dr. Babin.
When designing a kitchen, it's a balance of style, color, function, and cost. For the appliances, you want quality without blowing the budget. In Victoria, hands down, it's Lansdowne. It's reassuring to know that Lansdowne Appliances, the factory-authorized service agent for the brands they sell. There's no outside contracting, they do the work. Service is how Lansdowne has built their business. So you have peace of mind from the outside in. For premium appliances at reasonable prices, hands down, it's Lansdowne Appliances, Douglas at Bay.
Hi, this is Tom Harris. Every day of every week, people on Vancouver Island are switching to TELUS from other wireless carriers. Come meet your local Tom Harris Cellular team at any of our 11 locations on Vancouver Island. Visit us online at tomharriscellular.ca and hear the top 5 reasons why people are choosing TELUS for all their wireless needs. Tom Harris Cellular. Service is our calling.
For honor and country, the Canadian-American Challenge Demolition Derby at Saratoga Speedway. This Saturday and Sunday, 10 American cars, 10 Canadian cars, 100% demolition. It's total destruction till the last country standing. Also featured Crash to Pass, Hornet Cars, and Roadrunner. Gates open at 5:30. Racing at 7 p.m. sharp. The Canadian Challenge Demolition Derby. This weekend only at Saratoga Speedway. With Kenilworth and Carter.
75,000 Canadians have multiple sclerosis, and some of them say they've experienced relief through a new Italian treatment. They've traveled to Italy and to other countries at their own expense to get it. But the Canadian government says it's not ready to fund the treatment here.
Evan Thornton has MS, but he's now feeling healthier, more mobile than he's been in years.
I'm feeling great. It's been 5 months now since the operation, and yeah, every day feels better, really. Yeah.
5 months ago, Thornton traveled to Poland and had the controversial liberation treatment. He noticed an improvement right away.
I haven't wiggled toes in a couple of years.
Health Minister Leona Adwoga doesn't know anybody with multiple sclerosis, but she's heard the anecdotes of Canadians who have traveled far for treatment at their own expense. She's not ready to finance the procedure here, instead opting for further study.
I feel that the most prudent course of action at this time is to accept the recommendations of this country's leading researchers.
One of the leading researchers is sitting right beside her. Dr. Alain Vaudet says he and other scientists think it's too early to embrace the liberation treatment.
As you know,
the procedure, he says, is risky, the results unscientific.
Medicine in Canada is entirely scientifically based and evidence-based, and we cannot use patients as guinea pigs.
MS sufferers have protested on Parliament Hill, urging Ottawa to fund the procedure here, as Saskatchewan is prepared to do. Thornton, who now takes far fewer drugs, says there's a lot at stake for the industry.
Today's announcement was really a big win for multinational pharmaceutical companies, really. I mean, MS drugs are already a $13 billion a year industry.
Liberal critic Dr. Kirsty Duncan says the procedure must be funded, the progress of patients tracked.
This is a quick way of collecting data and finding if people who have been treated get better.
MS sufferers aren't giving up. They'll be back on Parliament Hill September 22nd, urging the government to listen to those who have actually had the procedure and say it works, and worry about the science later.
But these peace talks are underway in Washington, though the process has already been jarred by yesterday's murder of 4 Israeli settlers by Hamas extremists. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was first to meet with President Barack Obama at the White House today, and Obama immediately condemned yesterday's killings on the West Bank.
The message should go out to Hamas and everybody else who is taking credit for these heinous crimes, that this is not going to stop us from not only ensuring a secure Israel, but also securing a longer lasting peace in which people throughout the region can take a different course.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas also strongly condemned the West Bank killings. His security